Challenge presented by Continental Tire. Beautiful night in Miami as we launch the Challenge and V-Week with the Arkansas Razorbacks of John Calipari and Jim Larrañaga's Miami Hurricanes. That's only about 1,600 wins between the two head coaches. Welcome to the Challenge, everybody. Great to have you with us in Miami. Dave O'Brien alongside Corey Alexander. Corey, two guys who have had so much success on the court, but they're both dealing with many, many new faces.
Absolutely, and one in a new place. You think about John Calipari making the move from Kentucky to Arkansas, and Jim Larrañaga with 10 new players on his roster, so getting to know their teams a little bit.
Well, a couple of guys that are really driving the Razorbacks right now. One is a veteran guy, Adu Thiero, the other a freshman in Boogie Fland.
Boogie Fland has been spectacular in the start of a very short season for him, but got off to a great start. 16 points, almost 5 assists a game. However, Adu Thiero has been spectacular. A new role for him, although he's playing for the same coach in a different place. Was more of a role player in Kentucky. He's a star now.
Arkansas coming in at 5-2. Miami at 3-4. They have dropped 4 in a row to Drake, Oklahoma State, VCU, and the College of Charleston. So trying to come home and right the ship after their tournament in South Carolina. Razorbacks went into Thanksgiving Day as a top 25 team, but they got stuffed by Illinois 90-77. They're trying to turn things around very quickly as we get underway, and Arkansas wins the opening tip.
Very important to pay attention to this first play. John Calipari talked about how they did not execute on the first few possessions, and they had an opportunity here to make the right wrong here in the next time out.
Wagner handing off for Fland, 6'2" freshman out of the Bronx. He's getting 16 points a game. He has rarely looked like a freshman. Trying to get it downstairs, but a quick whistle here in the opening seconds in Miami.
So when you watch Arkansas play, John Calipari has an initial set that he wants to run. When it breaks down, they also have action that they want to get into. They didn't get with the shot they wanted off their initial set, but they got a foul on the action afterwards.
State McRae committed the first personal. That one thrown away right back over to the Hurricanes, who are actually shooting it pretty darn well. So is Arkansas. So for two teams that are struggling in various parts of the game, they have at least been hitting their shots, both of them at 50%.
Yeah, both come in playing very good on the offensive end of the floor. Defensively is where the struggle has been, particularly for Miami, even though Arkansas also had a letdown against Illinois last time out on the defensive end.
Lynn Kidd out of Virginia Tech. Nice little move inside with the left hand for 2.
And that's what Lynn Kidd does. One of the best at leading the country in field goal percentage and gets his opportunity on the interior. He is a presence in there that Miami can rely on.
Zvonimir Ivisic, the 7'2" sophomore from Croatia for the Razorbacks, not starting. He turned an ankle in practice. We'll see him tonight, but he's not 100%. Both teams battling some injuries. Nigel Pack, number 24 for Miami. He was like a practice time decision today because of a bad foot. He got in there as you look at the 7'2" sophomore.
And 2 back-to-back turnovers for Arkansas on their first 2 offensive possessions. So that's not what Coach Cal wanted to see for his team in their first true road game of the season.
Johnson bouncing for the big again. The big for the Hurricanes, 6'10" Lynn Kidd. State McRae has it ripped loose. That's a tie-up. Possession will keep it on this end. We talk about the difference with Miami between how well they're playing offensively and how badly they're playing, especially on the ball defensively.
But you look at the offensive numbers, ranked 10th in the nation out of 362 schools, but look at the other side of the other end of the floor, 345th out of 362 teams. That has been a struggle defensively for the Hurricanes.
Ouch. So trying to improve on that in a big way tonight. Here's the Johnson jumper. That won't go. That's the guy they would love to become the next Jordan Miller type for Miami. Remember the Hurricanes going to the Final Four a couple of years ago? They were a great program then. They have fallen on hard times, losing 14 out of 17. The loss of a player like that, such a key part of it.
Absolutely. And we talked with Coach Larrañaga. He talked to us about the team that Jordan Miller actually, his first year here that went to the Elite Eight, got off to a very slow start that year also, especially on the defensive end. Switched up the style of play defensively. But with 10 newcomers, things have been a little slower to adjust for the Canes.
They do the very short shot there that would not go. And for the second game in a row, Arkansas, a very chilly start. They fell behind 11-0 to Illinois and never recovered in that game.
Yeah, and when you've got a lot of new faces, that's often things that you can go through. But Miami not making Arkansas pay for their lacks on the offensive end.
Davis with a hard drive, banking it off the window. He'll draw the foul. Ellie Davis, the 6'4" grad out of Gary, Indiana. He was one of the top guys available in the portal. Fouled by Swartz, who picks up number 1. We were watching Arkansas today in their workout. Coach Cal said, I want to go, go, go. But a lot of people he's still trying to get acquainted with. He said, I'm doing a lot of coaching. And by that, he meant on the minutiae.
Absolutely. 13 of their 15 players are newcomers. And you think about the only returning guy with minutes that had experience is Trevon Brazile. He was the guy that returned. The other returner actually is out for the season and was a walk-on, not getting much time anyway for Coach Calipari. So a brand new team for both he and Jim Larrañaga this season.
It's nice to see Cal in a sport coat, huh? Because a lot of guys are going with a sweatsuit look these days. This is a classy look. It's still a classy look.
Well, that's why you and I are the odd couple, because I'm going with the sweatsuit.
I know you are. Any chance you can get. Whistle underneath. You are definitely our sweatsuit king on this group. This is a great look. The foul will go against Boogie Flan, number 1.
Cal now the leader in active wins as Division I coach, and one of the – it's hard to call Cal an old school guy, but yet one of the Hall of Fame coaches that we still have on the sidelines. He, Tom Izzo, Bill Self, a number of guys still left, but we've seen a departure of many of the coaches that we've grown to know and love over the past 20 seasons.
Now, Coach Larrañaga is definitely one of those old school guys, and he's got an older than normal team. He's got 7 seniors and grads, so he's made the point the ACC is a very veteran league this year. Really up and down and throughout. Flan with a bounce speed here. Thiero, beautiful there. Getting it downstairs to Adu.
Adu now returning, has been injured for the majority of this season. They actually sat him a couple games to allow him to get more rest. But you see the first sub off the bench at the center spot for Coach Cal, paying dividends. An all-SEC defender a season ago at Tennessee.
He had surgery on that foot. He's been banged up. He did get 11 minutes against Illinois, so it's coming.
And he gives him a tremendous presence on the interior, opening up, showing that 7-foot frame, and making himself available. Thiero with the nice find to get him the deuce.
Over the top for Brandon Johnson. He's getting about 11 points, but more importantly, 9 rebounds a game for Miami.
And which is an issue for the Hurricanes. That's where they struggle most. We talk about their defensive lapses. A lot of this had to do with their inability to be able to rebound.
Shot clock winding down. Nigel Pack on the money.
But having that guy back, he missed the Charleston Southern game. Having Nigel Pack back in the lineup absolutely helps. Coach Larrañaga, they make it clear it's hard to win without their senior captain.
They really feel like they can't unless he's healthy and plays a ton of minutes. Thiero underneath, can't get that one to go. It's tapped out of play right on the baseline with 16:28 to go here in the first half in Miami. Nigel Pack, the grad out of Indianapolis, getting 15 a game.
And watching Nigel Pack shoot with his feet on the logo, nothing new here in Coral Gables. We've watched it for the past 3 seasons now, and Nigel Pack happy to be back on the court after missing the last time out.
He scored 1,700 points in his career. He's been an outstanding player. Davis setting it up. Thiero, a very vocal guy for the Razorbacks. He's really their leader. Adu will hand off here for Davis. Trying to use the screen. Shot clock down to 3. Thiero with a long one off the iron, and Miami trying to push it.
And Nigel Pack grimacing on his way up the floor, dealing with a lower body injury, but you can see visibly not at 100%.
Johnson, great fake to get the open shooter, but Swartz couldn't hit it. Swartz, the freshman from Concord, North Carolina, getting the start. His first career start here tonight.
Yes, Swartz with 15 points last time out, and more importantly, knocked down 4 3-point field goals. So he absolutely got the attention of Coach Cal on the scouting report.
Adu gets a good look, but it rolls off the iron. Miami on top by 3 in the early minutes. Canes couldn't buy a win down the stretch last year. They lost 10 straight, and they wound up the season 15-17. Kid, brand new to them, can't hit. Grad transfer from Virginia Tech. The kick and the steal. Miami will grab it. State McRae with a hand on it. Swartz from the wing, and he sticks the triple.
And Swartz never even considered going inside the three-point line. Nigel Pack waited for him to get into the right spot and is able to knock down a huge 3 to give Miami a 6-point lead.
Well, he's making 38%. Again, he's a rookie, but That's his game from beyond that three-point line. Underneath, they find the big guy, Adu with the slam.
Lack of defensive rotation. The trap doing the right job for Miami, but no one rotating over to take Adu away from his second easy bucket. He has all the field goals made for the Razorbacks.
Hurricanes with 10 new players in the program this year. Expected to finish somewhere in the middle of the new look ACC with 18 teams. And a kick out from way downtown. It won't drop for Staten McRae. They're going to try and trade three-point attempts, and that one off the back iron by Fland. Fland coming in, averaging 16. Just turned 18 years old recently.
The OB, look at Nigel Pack. He's grimacing every time he brings the basketball up the floor. You can tell he's visibly bothered by something. However, it has not affected his jump shot, but the limp back down the floor is concerning.
He is gritting his teeth in these first few minutes every single time he comes down the other end of the floor. Still able to hit a tough shot. Wagner. Here's Davis to drive it. Has it slapped away. Staten McRae with a quick hands. Here's Swartz again. Not this time. Rebound popped up and controlled by the Razorbacks.
And we've gone well past our media timeout. These teams starting to get a little winded right now. Most guys waiting for the whistle to blow. However, Boogie Fland is able to step up and knock down a huge three for the Razorbacks to make it a one-possession game.
He's making 43% from three-point land, Corey. The McDonald's All-American point guard from New York City, ranked the #1 point guard in the country. On a back down. Kid again. Hook won't fall. (11-8) Miami. Trying to cut into that with a jumper. That won't go for Davis.
Encouraging to see Nigel Pack looking a little better over the last couple possessions. Coming down the floor was very concerning to see him grimacing the way he was early.
Staten McRae tied up. He'll draw the foul by Davis. Funny how when you make a couple of shots, a little bit of the pain goes away.
It absolutely. I know that feeling, OB. I've done that time or two in my life.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. These two schools have only met once before, March 17, 2000, in the NCAA tournament round 1 in Nashville. Miami won that 75-71. Arkansas beating Georgia, Kentucky, LSU, and Auburn to win the SEC tournament. Miami had a double-digit lead most of the game until the final minute. Then it got real tight.
Remember those days with the U? Coach Ham on the sidelines, Darius Rice, one of the all-time leading scorers on that 2000 team.
I think what Jim Larrañaga's done here has been pretty darn amazing, though. You look at the career comparison between Cal and Coach L, as he's known here in Miami. You know, to build a program in a football market, which can be very indifferent if you're not winning, if you're not the hot thing. And he turned it into that, you know, going to Elite Eights and Final Fours.
Absolutely, and winning the ACC in 2013, of course, had this place jumping each and every night. And now trying to find a way to get this team back on track after losing 4 straight.
Blackman throws it away, turns it over to Arkansas. And Fland and company behind 11-8. They'll swing it to the 7-footer, and Big Z is off target with the first one.
And don't adjust your TV. He is a 7-footer that shoots a lot of threes. Actually had a game this year where he made 6 threes and blocked 5 shots, and can't think back to many guys who've ever done that.
Step back short by Swartz. Ivicic is actually their best three-point man. He's hitting 55%. Calipari told him before the season, no, I don't want you shooting threes. And everybody said, what does that mean? He's a great three-point shooter. It's not exactly what he meant. What he meant was, I don't want you shooting them every single time. We've got a timeout with 11:41 to go, fouled by Jalen Blackman. What a gorgeous night here in Miami. What a great time of the year to be here in a great city. Back in Miami, and the Canes leading Arkansas 11-8. Among the luminaries in the building tonight, the outstanding John Wall, who played for John Calipari, of course, 5 times an NBA All-Star.
And the first #1 pick for Cal at Kentucky, and was there his first season. I can remember being at the Maui Invitational with Kentucky at the time, John Calipari bringing his team over there in their first year. Actually, no, I take it back. It was Mexico. It was not. It was Cancun.
Huh?
And John Wall playing in a ballroom. And you think he's fast normally. Wait till you see how fast he is in a ballroom.
Cut the rug. Yeah. A whirlwind of it. Shot clock down to 8 here for Miami. Blackman takes the hand up, but he's doubled up trying to get out of that trap. He does. Got that free to Cleveland. Cleveland with a pull-up pop. Got a good look, but couldn't drain it.
And that's a guy that Miami needs to get going. Cleveland, who's averaging career lows this season thus far through the first 7 games for the Canes.
Yes, last 2 games, 2 points a game. Richmond got in close, couldn't finish that. And now Cleveland leading the break, wants to do it himself. He'll lay it in. He's been very up and down, very inconsistent. Talk about a fast strike on the other end. Brazil will slam it down.
Now, that's hard to do. Give up a wide-open contested dunk after scoring a layup. Normally, you have the opportunity to be able to get back defensively once you score, but no one from Miami getting back on the defensive end.
Also shows you how quick the Razorbacks can be. Picked to finish 5th in the SEC behind Alabama, Texas A&M, Tennessee, and Auburn. How about Auburn's gift for winning Maui? They get to go to Cameron Indoor. Feathery touch here by Matthew Cleveland for 2.
Matthew Cleveland's come in aggressive with his time on the court. 3 straight attempts for him, making 2 of them and putting Miami back on top by 5.
Arkansas down 5 on the road and 1 with the whistle under 10 minutes to go. And a tough drive by DJ Wagner.
I believe this is the difference maker for the Razorbacks this year. DJ Wagner, coming off of what he felt was a disappointing season as his freshman season at Kentucky, played through a number of injuries, but now a veteran. And, of course, he's a guy that also understands Coach Cal. He knows how things need to be done to play for Cal, and very comfortable. We had a chance to talk with him pregame. You were talking about how the young man that seems like he should be acting in Hollywood.
He should go to Hollywood, I think. He's going to have a nice long career, and he's an outstanding player. Great family line, I think, as most people know, but he has a lot of charisma. And I think he might wind up on stage somewhere.
Yeah, great young man to be around, and you can tell he's very comfortable this year. Difference from what we saw from him a season ago.
Blackman will lift and hits it. 3-pointer. 39% for Jalen Blackman out of Marion, Indiana. Transfer from Stetson. Zipped underneath. Brazil right there. They found him again.
And how about Thero? That he has made that pass multiple times. He's been the change of the floor guy when the basketball changes sides of the floor, but he's always looking right in the middle of the paint. 3 times they found someone for a dunk.
Too strong by Bethea, the freshman. 5-star recruit out of Philly. They love him. A lot of growth there still, and he almost did it again. Brazil this time could not finish it. Round the back. Bethea with a neat move to get free. Long distance, got it.
That's the way that Miami can stay in this game and also try to find a way to win it. If they can have success from beyond the 3-point arc, they have a number of guys who are more than capable of knocking it down.
Now Blackman's starting to heat up. Certainly one of the best starts of the season for the Miami Hurricanes as they lead it 21-15. Going to be interrupted. Nice job on the save effort. That was Brandon Johnson.
Brandon Johnson with a great rotation after he's seen his team give up multiple dunks.
Theo, no, he's had some big scoring games this season already. 24 against Baylor, had 26 in the loss to Illinois. Cleveland wants to attack. Airborne and gets it to roll in, and he'll be headed to the line.
Matthew Cleveland must have heard us when we talked about he needed to be better for this Miami team, averaging career lows, 8 points for him, and he averaged 11 as a freshman at Florida State. But you see Matthew Cleveland aggressive now, his 3rd made field goal, but this time he can add 1 to it.
Billy Richmond went for the reach and picks up the personal. So Cleveland really up and down. Again, the last 2 games averaging just 2 points a game. And last year it was 14 points a game. He was a very reliable scorer for Jim Larrañaga.
Yeah, veteran, a guy that, of course, coming in, you would expect him to have made the jump. Now in a different role, coming off the bench for Matthew Cleveland over the last 2 games. Jim Larrañaga looking for whichever lineup they can be best defensively with. But right now, Matthew Cleveland bringing the offense. 7 points for him early.
Miami heating up. They've hit 5 of their last 6 shots to open it up. Razorbacks looking for an answer. Out of the corner, way downtown. Too strong by Knox. On the line. Lynn Kidd will give it right back. Gardner Knox, another McDonald's All-American for John Calipari, who also first committed to Kentucky and then flipped to the Razorbacks when Cal came to Arkansas.
Carter Knox from the state of Florida. His father played football for the enemy here, which would be the Florida State Seminoles.
And believe me, they remember. Thiero, he is fouled on the drive by Matthew Cleveland, who went for the reach. With 7:59 to go in a quick moving first half here in Miami. The Canes like the pace. For us at ESPN, not to mention the SEC ACC Men's Challenge. And somewhere on that screen, we've got a team for you, a team you're rooting for. Challenge getting underway tonight. This is one of the first handful of games.
Or a league you're rooting for.
Or a league you're rooting for. I wouldn't say either one of us have a rooting interest.
Oh, no.
We're right down the middle. We root for a great basketball game.
Yes.
But you, the fan, I mean, this is spectacular for you.
Absolutely spectacular. And speaking of spectacular, the SEC has been spectacular, to say the least, to start this season. They've absolutely been the best conference in the country in November. But we've turned a new month, and now the ACC trying to knock off some of these SEC teams.
Kentucky and Clemson coming up at 9:15 on ESPN tonight. 24-15 Miami, and the basketball from the baseline. Miami a little 6-0 run. They got them rolling. Jalen Blackman to put it in. Transfer from Stetson. He scored about 1,400 points in his career. There's a lot of legit scorers on the court here tonight for both sides, and a whistle before the inbounds pass with 7:51 to go in the first half.
As we see the newcomers, we talk about the newcomers for both these teams. For Miami, it's been more guys who have been veterans and played well at other places, maybe a lower level as far as concerned the ACC, but yet guys who have had production. For Arkansas, it's normally guys who most of them came from Kentucky, or guys who have been, younger players coming in, so they haven't quite exhausted their eligibility, have some time to be able to stick around.
Fouling on Nellie Davis for Arkansas. And Blackman trying to get it in. They have to call a timeout. So Arkansas covering all the open guys, and we'll take the timeout as well. A quick one here. 24-15, Miami on top of Arkansas. And the second challenge, SEC ACC, continues tomorrow on ESPN. Number 20, North Carolina, hosting number 10, Alabama. That's at Chapel Hill at 7:15. And then followed by number 9, Duke, taking on the number 2 team in the country. Many feel they're the best team in the land. That's Auburn, and it's inside Cameron Indoor. You got to look at them. You were in Maui the entire week. What are your thoughts on Auburn?
Auburn is the best team in the country right now, and they come at you in waves. You consider the way they do it. They can play inside out. They have shooting. And, of course, if you're playing for Bruce Pearl, you absolutely have to be able to defend.
Pack gives it up for Johnson. He wants to drive the lane and a kick. Pack got off to a quick start. He'll add 2 more, give him 8 points.
And smart play by Nigel Pack there, not getting into the teeth of the defense, going to the runner midway in, not having to challenge the trees.
Well, Coach Larrañaga has to be delighted with the start his team is off to, offensively and defensively so far.
Honestly, Obi, I believe he would be even more excited about the defensive effort that he's gotten from his team. And now another deflection.
Yeah, Johnson nearly stole it, and that's going to hang on the rim and drop in. After the foul as well, Arkansas with a basket. Thiero, the 6'8 junior, got it to roll in with a soft touch, and he'll be shooting for a 3-point play.
Adou Thiero attacking the basket, getting downhill, the contact, able to get the bucket to go. OB, he was 12 of 21 from the free throw strike against Illinois last time out. So
ugly. Yep.
Taking 21 free throws, you got to be in attack mode to get there that often, as we see his mom, Miriam C., checking out his father over to her left. Forgive me, to her right. Almami Thiero, so both from Mali, and coming to see their son here in Miami.
Lynn Kidd with a foul. The officials are going to the monitor on this. That's the reason for the stoppage in play. Ron Groover, Clarence Armstrong, Eric Lewis, our crew tonight. We are actually, our broadcast position, right next to the Arkansas bench. And when Ron Groover came over to explain what was going on here to Coach Calipari, we heard Calipari go, "Why?"
Well, because he felt as though what they were going to look at possibly was an infraction on them. However, I don't believe it's going to be anything as they make it a quick look. I'm not certain as to what it possibly would have been, but whatever it was, not much of anything. The officials didn't spend much time.
Yeah. They were reviewing something involving Arkansas. That's what we are being told. Exactly what it is, we don't know. 7:05 to go, first half. And Arkansas looking to get their swagger back here, trailing 26-17 on the road against a good shooting Miami team.
John Calipari talked to us earlier today about how much coaching he was having to do with this team, because once again, you've got a lot of newcomers, but also in a new place. You've got a freshman point guard. For as talented as he is, it's different being in this scenario. Boogie Flam, one of the best in the country at the position. However, it's still new for him, only his 8th game at the collegiate level.
Thiero at the line and drops in the first one. In fact, the Arkansas head coach told us at practice today they worked on a play that they were going to run the first play of the game against Illinois all week. And when they ran the play when the game started, everybody went in different directions.
And it was part of the reason why they got down so big, 11-0 start for Illinois. As you mentioned, they never really recovered from that initial punch that they took from the Illini last time out.
We're hearing this a lot from head coaches with so many new players in their program. Shot clock down to 5. Blackman, who could be dangerous beyond the three-point line. He's going to fake and take a hit. And it's just going to go the other way. It's a travel. So they turn it over on the travel.
And Blackman trying to get to the step back, gets there in the air. However, shuffling his feet would have been a foul if he were able to keep his feet still. But unable to do so in the turnover to Miami.
Flan, the freshman. Under 6.5 to go in the half. Looking to penetrate, airborne. What a nice shot that was.
Oh, he's special. Obi, when you talk about his ability to be able to not only score but also make plays for others, averaging close to 5 assists per game.
He's like several tremendous freshmen in the country. Big drive here by Pack to lay it in.
Nigel Pack's only about 70% right now, but you can see how important his 70% is in comparison to when you don't have him on the floor, as the Hurricanes missed him dearly in their loss on Saturday to Charleston Southern.
Nice feathery touch by the freshman. Boogie Flan will knock it down again. He's 43%. He's very confident out there.
He absolutely is. Watch this young man playing for the PSA Cardinals under my guy, Terrence Munch Williams, growing up. And Munch made it very clear, we got another pro coming, as
Flan
they had with
will
Cole Anthony back in the day.
You know, I was mentioning the other freshmen around the country, like Jeremiah Fears at Oklahoma, put on a show in the Bahamas. A lot of them are ready to go right now. There's no warm-up period. They hit the floor at the college level. They're stars right away.
And the expectation level for them to be there, when you're talking about guys who were McDonald's All-Americans, who were the highest level, to be able to come in. And, of course, when you think about this, now he's been tutored by one of the best to ever do it. Tyler Eulis, who was an absolute star for John Calipari at Kentucky. Having him coaching point guards is big.
Swartz knocking down the jump shot to make it 30-23 Miami. Off a nifty fake. Wagner. Right back down and could not be handled by Adu. On the drive, Cleveland swatted away, but you're going to count that. That's goaltending.
And Matthew Cleveland has gotten ahead of steam going downhill multiple times in this game already. Now up to 9 points for Cleveland. And doing it by attacking in transition. Carter Knox sending that one into the stands. However, above the cylinder. will count for 2 for Matthew Cleveland.
32-23, but Arkansas with the ball. Wagner is that great family line of outstanding players. Tiptoeing inside and the kick. It'll be back up for Knox off the fake. Finds the lane. He's denied off the miss. Yes.
Carter Knox getting the basketball back off his own miss and the presence of mind to be able to get it in the air really before it even lands. Shows his strength and the ability to be able to finish amongst the trees.
And a freshman out of Tampa. Cleveland really active and the stuff. An electrifying move by Matthew Cleveland right down the lane.
And that finish over top of Adu, who was an all-SEC defender at Tennessee a season ago, but having no resistance from Matthew Cleveland, who climbed the ladder.
Miami's made 7 straight. The lay-in on a long drive there by Wagner. They just kept on coming, and nobody picked him up.
And that's really DJ Wagner's game, attacking the basket, getting downhill, putting the pressure on opposing defenses.
Pack shot, barely grazing the iron. Big Z getting ready to check back in now for the Razorbacks. He's barely played here in the first half. The pull-up, that'll be off the iron by Richmond.
And if I'm Matthew Cleveland right now, I'm staying in attack mode. No reason to give the basketball up. He's had success every time he's put his head down trying to get to the rim.
He's been a different guy here in the first half than the last several games for Miami.
He's been the guy that we've gotten used to seeing in the ACC over the past 3 seasons, the first 2 at Florida State and last year here in Miami.
Indeed. Under 3.5 to go in the first half. Johnson will swing it. And a whistle with 5 seconds on the shot clock. We'll go back to that dunk. It is the spectacular play of the first half so far.
It absolutely has been. It's the spectacular play of this young season for the Miami Hurricanes. Matthew Cleveland attacking, getting downhill with authority to finish over the top. We may see that on SportsCenter later tonight, my man.
Thank you very much. Talking about those two, Pack and Cleveland. They've combined for 21 already, 9 out of 11, Corey.
Well, when you think about what these two guards have been able to do, and these are the guys we would have expected to have that type of performance for Miami, not just tonight, but all season long. So Nigel Pack and Matthew Cleveland both answering the bell throughout this one. And, of course, to Coach Seth Greenberg, Damian Fishback is better dressed than everybody. That's nothing new. I mean, outside of OB, I mean, he's at the top of the chain.
Oh, no. Fish is way ahead of me. No question about it. Oh, a mishandle by Richmond. He was on his way to the rack and just lost it off the body.
And Billy Richmond does a great job defensively coming up with the steal and then probably just got a little excited trying to figure out how he was going to dunk this one on the way to the rim. Took his eyes off of it. Lost it out of bounds.
His dad, also Billy, played for John Calipari at Memphis.
Billy Richmond, of course, from the High, which would be Camden High School in New Jersey. Also, same high school as DJ Wagner.
Swartz and a whistle with a shot going up off the iron. Foul here against Arkansas with 2:56 to go, and that'll be on Richmond. His second.
Billy Richmond, another promising freshman for John Calipari. And again, you know, one of the things with Cal is going to always go out and recruit the best players in the country coming out of high school. That's what he wants. Now, if he's going to surround those guys with players from the transfer portal, but he's not going to build a team with solely guys that are transfers, because he wants to change people's lives, and that's how he built his legacy, by changing the lives of young men, getting them out of high school, guys who are often one-and-dones, who end up being able to sign contracts that support their families for a very, very long time. He's not going to give up on that mission. The goal for Cal now is to be able to surround those talented freshmen with some veterans from the transfer portal.
Trying to become the first coach in history to take 4 schools to the Final Four. He did it at UMass, Memphis, and of course Kentucky. Rick Pitino, the only other coach to do it 3 times, 3 different schools. Bottled up the kick out here for Brazil. Wagner looking for room to operate, working on Cleveland. Shot clock a factor, down to 5. And they just lost it, but it was tapped out of play off Miami. With 2:30 to go in the first half, 4 on the shot clock here for Arkansas. So Wagner averaging 9 a game. We'll check it in. The 7-footer will launch it and knock it down.
He's
got a sweet touch.
No, he absolutely has an OB. And you were talking about how Coach Cal said we don't want you shooting them all the time. If I'm shooting 55% OB, I'm shooting the 3-ball all the time. And you see Big Z loves it out there.
17 for 30 for the year. Down the lane looking for the window, and Jobé will draw the foul. The 6'7" sophomore from France. And a personal foul on the Razorbacks will go against Trevin Brazile, the big junior from Springfield, Missouri. He's their lone returning scholarship player for Arkansas. And 2 shots coming here for Jobé. You wondered if he would have a bigger role on this year's team from Miami than last year.
I believe that Coach L was expecting for him to have a bigger role on this year's team. And again, you always want for your guys who are returning to making the next step. And so when you consider that, I'm sure they're expecting more from Jobé. But it's a very young season. November's over. Now we're into a new month. These coaches are still learning their teams. Coach L explained that to us a lot earlier today about it's not just about the players learning the system. It's also about how the coaches learn the best way for the players to be able to learn and adapt to their new environment.
And for so many of them, completely new terminology across the board from their previous programs. And they're doing things with new coaches they were never asked to do before. That one's going to be out of play, thrown away. Calipari jumping right in front of us on the sideline, not happy at all with that turnover.
I believe he's not happy about the fact that there really wasn't much of an effort by Brazile to go get the basketball. I mean, of course, the pass didn't come to him, but you still don't want to allow it to just go right out of bounds and to have the turnover.
Cleveland's been a hot hand. He's feeling it.
Great job by DJ Wagner getting through the screen, recognizing the scouting report to chase Nigel Pack.
And he can get to that logo and shoot it. Jobé swatted away. Ivisic got a hand on a shot clock down to 2. Pack pops it up there, follows his own miss, and it rolls in.
And once again, the presence of mind, not to bring it down, but to get it in the air before the shot blocker can actually get a hand on it. Smart play by Nigel Pack to give Miami a surprising 10-point lead here over the Razorbacks. A turnover on the other end of the floor for Arkansas as you watch Trevin Brazile, and he gets to his spot. He's ready to shoot the basketball, but never an effort to go after the loose ball and save that possession for your team. Of course, the pass didn't go exactly where you wanted it to go, but for Coach Cal, that's not the type of effort he wants to see from his team, especially on the road from a veteran. You got to make sure that you at least give it an effort to try to save that possession to give your team a chance to put points on the board.
I think you're exactly right. That's what upset him more than anything. Brazile has been nursing a twisted ankle. Missed a couple of games, but didn't make much of a try at that at all. He's up top with it.
And you consider the fact that Arkansas has 7 turnovers now. Miami's scored 11 points off of those turnovers.
Wagner got an excellent free look, but couldn't cash in. And it'll be Miami ball with under a minute to go in the first half. Miami trying to snap a 4-game skid. Arkansas has fallen out of the top 25 after losing to Illinois 90-77 in Kansas City. Nigel Pack, 6-foot grad with a very quick step. Downtown Swartz off the front of the iron.
DJ Wagner manning the point. Boogie Flan on the bench with 2 fouls here in the first half. Wagner going to the point guard position. Denied by Jobé.
Yes, Jobé with a quick step got there, deflected it with 29 seconds left in the half.
And this is what DJ does best, get downhill, but Jobé recognizing that as DJ tries to go to the inside left hand. Jobé over to deny it, knocking it out of bounds. Still 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the Razorbacks.
Richmond for Wagner with a pull-up. Short. Rebound tipped up and in by Brazile.
Now that's the type of effort Coach Cal wants to see from Brazile. Going in, second chance points. 4-0 right now, advantage Arkansas. However, that's much better than the 22-4 advantage Charleston Southern had over Miami last time out.
Well, the Canes with the last shot. Pack looks like he wants to take it. He will. Can't drain it, and that's it to end the first half. But Miami, an impressive first 20 minutes. They lead at 40-32, and when they do lead at halftime, they are 3-0 so far this season. Now Miami under Jim Larrañaga got to be happy playing on both ends of the court as we get it over the studio for the halftime report. Come back to the SEC ACC Men's Challenge. It's presented by Continental Tire. Good half from Miami. Probably their best first half all season. They lead Arkansas 40-32. Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander. Corey, has been Matthew Cleveland, Nigel Pack leading the way.
The duo has combined for 23 points on 10 of 14 shooting. Nigel Pack got it started, knocking down the three and then getting to the mid-range. C's dealing with some discomfort in the foot, but it has not stopped his scoring ability. Nigel Pack getting to his spots and being successful early. Matthew Cleveland, coming off the bench for the second straight game, has proven to be a valuable sixth man for Jim Larrañaga, attacking the rim, getting downhill, and of course, providing us with sports and the highlights that we'll see later tonight. Already 11 points for Matthew Cleveland in the first half.
Miami has not trailed in the game. Their largest lead was 26-15. As you look at the breakdown on both sides in our first half summary, it was a clean first half because Miami only turned it over 4 times, Arkansas just 7 times.
With the 7 turnovers for Arkansas turning into 11 points for Miami. So that's been the difference maker for the Canes, being able to take those turnovers, those miscues, and turn them into points on the other end, not having to play against a set Arkansas defense.
Now both sides with very tough weeks coming up. And Miami in particular, they've got Clemson coming to town this weekend. And then they take on an SEC power in Tennessee. That's December 10 in the Jimmy V.
One of the many SEC powers that we've seen early in this season.
Arkansas will have the basketball as we get the second half underway here at the Watsco Center. Boogie Fland flips this one for Wagner and a long one. Got it. Nice start to the second half for the Razorbacks.
And great execution. Miami rotating over, taking away the roll to the rim, and which has been a dunk a number of times. But Boogie Fland finding DJ Wagner was able to knock down the 3 ball.
Nigel Pack playing with that bad foot, but at times he has played exceptionally well. Miami trying to keep it rolling into the second half. Lynn Kidd's been pretty quiet. He'll spin inside for 2. He's trying to get noisy here.
But right now, Arkansas is content to allow Adu to guard Lynn Kidd one-on-one in the post. Not going to send a double team to this point, trusting Adu to be able to defend him.
Wagner, whose dad played for Cal at Memphis. His grandfather, Milt Wagner, played at Louisville on the 1986 national championship team. Little step forward, a long one downtown. That won't drop for Fland. Just underway, second half in Miami. 42-35, the Canes. And the pass never got there. Picked off by Arkansas. Fland wants to run. Davis lets fly and hits the triple.
And we talked about what happened in the first half of Miami turning Arkansas miscues into points on the other end. Just like that, Arkansas makes it a 4-point game by turning turnovers into a 3-point.
Couple of early triples here for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Pack trying to answer but can't. On the run out, Fierro has to go for it to the baseline, and a whistle and a foul against Miami. So Pack will pick it up here with 18:05 left in the game. That'll be his first.
I'm interested to see Adu Thero walk off of this one. Took a hard fall. You see, gets tripped up. Goes down hard, but into the stanchion. Took him a second to stand up and walk it off. And you're talking about one of the toughest guys in college basketball. So
Junior out of Pittsburgh. On the baseline, in for Adu. Wagner will call a play here. Kidd came out to guard him. That left the interior open for half a second, and they nearly cashed in, but Adu can't hit the little baby hook. State McRae on the drive, spins in two.
State McRae getting downhill, and that's one of the areas where both these coaches talk to their teams about. They want to take their chances in transition, push off of misses, even makes when they have the opportunity.
Wagner knifing inside, can't finish it. Miami in transition. Johnson back for Pack, he'll launch it, got it.
That's the last thing you can do is give Nigel Pack that much space and that much time to find the laces. He's one of the best that's done it in college basketball. And when you consider giving Nigel Pack this much room and this much space, he's going to burn you every time. Miami back to a 9-point lead.
Goes to cancer research.
Ovi, I get to my hotel last night as we see Big Z stepping in, another one of those opportunities right in the basket. Great find from Boogie Fland. But I get to my hotel last night and, of course, turn on the TV, and I'm watching Dickie V, the documentary ESPN did on Dick Vitale. And I learned so much, and I thought I knew everything about Dickie V. I followed him, of course, his entire career, it seems like. Yep. But I learned so much about Dick Vitale. I knew he was a coach. I didn't know he was that good of a coach.
He's a really good coach.
Oh, great coach.
Really good.
21-0 at Detroit. Beat Marquette.
Yep.
You're talking about, getting to the Sweet 16. So when you think about Dick Vitale, not just the personality on the sidelines, which he's the greatest to ever do, but his ability to be able to coach it. John Calipari, of course, making a cameo in the documentary, as well as my guy, the notorious D.O.B., as we see Coach Cal going down to see Dickie V.
That was awfully sweet.
Yeah, on September 14th. And I had opportunity to see Dickie V last December and hopefully get to see him again soon on my trip to City of Palms this year.
Yeah, feel the same way, obviously. We love him. And continues to battle cancer. He's got a big cancer scan coming up in the middle of December. If that's clear, he's coming back to work, I think. And you get to hear those great tones of the great Dick Vitale again.
The Duke there missing a point-blank layup there. Had to get between two defenders. But now, when you don't double-team Lynn Kidd, he's going to have success in the paint. Doesn't matter the size of the defender guarding him. They double-teamed him on the last possession, but Lynn Kidd went quickly that time. Didn't allow the double-team time to get there.
So Miami's still in a comfort zone, leading by 9. Arkansas with the ball here. Wagner taking the baseline. That is a tremendous move for 2, and he's at the line for a 3-point play. He was determined to get there.
DJ Wagner attacking the baseline. This young man has the ability. He puts a lot of pressure on the basket. Getting to the rim, the hoop, the harm. It's that game. They leapfrog Miami and become the second team. Well, no, they would get in, and then SMU would be the second team into the playoffs.
Yeah, Miami eliminating themselves there. The 7-footer will launch from the corner. What a great touch.
But how about Big Z stepping back, making sure he's behind the line, but you can see he's not 100% either. Limping down the floor, he would have much more of an impact on this game, many more minutes, and if he had not turned his ankle in practice recently. John Calipari kind of has him on a minutes restriction right now.
Faced his twin brother in the Illinois game over the weekend. His brother Tomislav had 21 and 10. So he outplayed his big brother. Shot clock down to 5. Cleveland, who was the star of the first half, gives it up here in the second half. Arkansas with a chance to really close the gap here. Boogie Fland will call out a play. Davis. Fland looking for room to operate. The jumper not there, and Cleveland with the rebound on the other side. 4-point game. Miami has not trailed, but they turn it over again. Wagner going up against Jordan will lay it up and in.
Yeah, smart play by DJ Wagner as the defender was just waiting to see if he was going to give the basketball up. And the cardinal rule of the game of basketball, you have to stop the ball first. No one's stopping DJ Wagner as he's able to get the easy bucket. And just like that, it's a 2-point game. Give Arkansas a tremendous amount of credit for fighting through adversity here on the road, forcing the turnover. DJ Wagner doing it defensively and turning defense into offense with the easy bucket.
Arkansas a 7-0 run. 49-47 Miami.
And there's mom, Sarita Brittingham, enjoying the game, coming to see her son, DJ. Also, Kareem Watkins, her son, also on the team, making the move from Kentucky to Arkansas. So a little double dip for mom coming in. I told her I was going to put her on TV today. And I said, don't be eating. She's going to be mad when she sees this.
It's like everybody says that, like, just please let me know. But we can't do that all the time. By the way, about the Wagners, if you choose to go 5-on-5 against them, just in a pickup game, you have made a serious mistake against that family.
It would be tough. It would be tough sledding. The first 3 generations of McDonald's All-Americans, you talk about Milt Wagner, of course, DeJuan Wagner, and then DJ. Had the fortunate pleasure to be able to call that game and see all 3 gentlemen at the McDonald's All-American game 2 years ago, and a great moment for them to be able to celebrate together.
Well, Miami has taken a shot to the solar plexus here the last couple of minutes. Johnson straight on. A big-time rebound coming out of nowhere. Matthew Cleveland got up high.
And this is the Matthew Cleveland we've grown to know and love throughout the ACC, attacking the offensive glass, making the energy and effort plays, and not allowing for anyone to throw him the basketball to be effective.
He is 13. Back up to a 4-point advantage for the Canes. Night number 1 of the challenge. Arkansas with a slam. Oh, tremendous. Thiero rising high and over his head to slam that down.
So maybe the second play that we'll see on SportsCenter tonight, we can see both of those. Maybe they'll split it. Just both those plays from the same game.
Better see them both. I think you're right. Back with a bounce. Swartz, a long one. No. The rebound is tipped out. It'll go the other way.
Well, whether they show it on SportsCenter or not, we got to see it again here. Adou Thiero going baseline. And with the reverse finish. Obi, I believe I'm going to give this one a 10, my man. Jumping off the wrong foot, the right foot, and still the ability to be able to finish under the rim. That may top Matthew Cleveland's
That might. They're neck and neck right now. More to come here in the last 13 minutes. Wagner. Great ball movement. Thiero down the lane. Look for another one. He's denied.
Great job by Lynn Kidd going vertical on that possession.
Pack scoops it. Nice little give and one as well. Brandon Johnson with a finish, and he'll be at the line.
And John Calipari trying to figure out how it was a foul on one end, but not on the other. Lynn Kidd does a great job. Watch him go vertical, gets a hand on the basketball, takes a little bit off of what Thiero's able to do, and then on the other end, Johnson's able to finish through the contact. A big turnaround for Miami. Really a 4-point swing now that could be 5 here at the free throw line.
Billy Davis, his 3rd foul for Arkansas. Brandon Johnson, who makes 72% at the line. And so the 6'4" grad out of Gary, Indiana, has to hit the bench for the Razorbacks. Johnson, a 6'8" senior. Came over from East Carolina, where he was number 12 all-time in rebounding. Can't finish that off. 53-49 Miami. Boogie Flan denied. Wagner wants to take it in there. The scoop and a block. And let's see what they determine here. They're going to count that.
Well, they can go back and look at it at the next dead ball, or next time out. They'll go back and look at that. But for right now, it will be a bucket. You see DJ Wagner. Ooh, I believe they're going to take that one off. From that angle, it looks as though Matthew Cleveland got it before it hits the glass. Right here, I believe they're going to take those 2 points away when we go to a break.
Yep, think you're right.
It looks like a good block by Matthew Cleveland. He pins it to the glass. Those 2 points most likely will be removed.
So at the moment, 53-51. Pressure here by Arkansas.
And Wagner's down in the backcourt.
but recovers, yet cannot get the basket. The arrow going up high on the other end. Blackman. Oh, stuffed in by Cleveland. He got a mile over the iron.
Okay, Matthew Cleveland is back in front.
Wow.
2-1 Cleveland.
Wow.
And he may have multiple SportsCenter highlights tonight.
Goodness gracious.
He's smiling right now, Obi. He knows he just did something special.
Wagner trying to recover. Flan from the corner. Got it! A three-point answer.
Big-time response by the freshman. DJ Wagner attacking the paint, finding Boogie Flan in the corner. A huge three to make it a one-point game.
Boy, the pace of play here the last couple of minutes has been cranked up to 11. Johnson handing off for Blackman. Johnson coming off 23. And a whistle to stop play at 11:19 to go.
Honestly, I couldn't wait for the whistle to blow. I needed to break into action because I need to see this Matthew Cleveland play once again. Oh, Matthew Cleveland with the extended putback coming from out of nowhere to finish it off. And right now, looking in the rim, Matthew Cleveland will absolutely be on SportsCenter tonight.
Well, a game summary in a game, I think, Corey, can safely say is being played above the iron.
It absolutely has been. We've seen a Duke Darrow. We've seen Matthew Cleveland twice climbing the ladder, going up top. DJ Wagner with a big second half. 7 points for him. Not the 9 that he had before the timeout, because the 2 points on the shot that with goaltending was called have been taken off. So now it's a 3-point lead for the Miami Hurricanes in comparison to 1 when we went to break.
Well, this is a major change for Miami. Matthew Cleveland's been a very good player, but he's been scuffling this season, averaging 2 points a game the last 2 contests. A completely different guy, and in rarefied air here in this contest tonight in Miami. Stolen away, picked up by Davis, and a whistle before he could get off a shot.
Billy Richmond attacking the basket. I heard the whistle also. It was actually in the crowd.
Coming right over here.
It was in the crowd. Yes, they were trying to throw the Razorbacks off a little bit, but Billy Richmond attacking the basket, able to finish through the contact, and now making it a 1-point game once again.
Johnson will hand off here for Blackman. 55-54. Cleveland lost the dribble.
John Calipari getting Nelly Davis back on the floor.
Gives it up, Johnson. Way downtown. I'm in logo territory. And Miami extends it to 58-54.
Big bucket right there. As you can see, Arkansas building some momentum here on Miami's home floor. But the way to get it back is knocking down a 3 at the shot clock buzzer.
Flan. Rebound tapped around. Controlled by Davis.
And that's the thing. You know, when you look at Davis's number, averaging over 8 points per game, over 4 rebounds, but the Arkansas staff will tell you, you don't measure his impact on the game by his numbers. He does so much more. For example, coming up with that offensive rebound on the last possession.
During the break, just to hit it again, there was a scoring change. Cleveland was given credit for the block and was originally a goaltend. So this is our accurate score at 58-54 Miami. And Arkansas to put it in from the sideline. Davis in for Flan. And tapped away, a scramble for it. Shot clock will expire without getting up a shot.
Now, this is my first Miami game of the season. However, that may be their best defensive play this year thus far. Jim Larrañaga has to be happy with the way that his team has approached this game with a defensive mindset.
And again, the Canes have led throughout. Nigel Pack bringing the ball up, a big reason why, in an excellent first half. Stade McCray trying to take the baseline. Denied. Tough defense by the Razorbacks on the interior.
And numbers for Arkansas with Len Kidd going down in the backcourt. But a turnover. Boogie Flan unable to handle it. Going to the rim.
Now the second annual SEC ACC Women's Challenge continues on Thursday night Number 18, Ole Miss squaring off against NC State at 7 Eastern Time. That's on ESPN2. Our ESPN doubleheader has number 4, Texas, battling 10th-ranked Notre Dame. That's followed by Duke, number 8, South Carolina, number 3. Jumper from the wing and knocked out. Miami with a fast answer from Jalen Blackman, who makes 39%.
Great play by Nigel Pack, cracking the paint and then finding Blackman on the interior, who gives Miami some separation.
Davis slams on the break and knocks down the short jumper in the lane.
And Davis, who is a guy that can absolutely be a scorer for this Razorback team, has really been much more of a role player, but a big bucket for him on that possession.
State McRae got the start here tonight for Jim Larrañaga. Lynn Kidd backing in and a blocking foul with 8:35 left. And Arkansas about to bring Brazil and Wagner back on. Ivisic picks up the foul. That'll be his first.
John Calipari comfortable with going 9 deep with his Arkansas Razorback squad. Kind of bringing back the 40 minutes of hell type of Arkansas. My guy Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Corliss Williamson, all those guys who played for Nolan Richardson back in the day.
Long one here, Blackman. Yes, that'll rattle in from three-point land.
But what they have not been able to do is get Miami off the three-point line, especially Blackman, who's knocked down back-to-back threes in the last couple possessions for the Canes.
Davis lets fly and nothing but net.
And you see Davis now starting to assert himself a little more. You and I watched him at Florida Atlantic a year ago win the ESPN Events Invitational, where he was the AAC Co-Player of the Year. So he's a guy that absolutely can put points on the board.
He was their number 1 scorer last year at FAU with 18 a game. Under 8 minutes to go. Pack for Kidd. Kidd making 72% of his shots with a lot of them like that.
And John Calipari torn between whether or not you double team Lynn Kidd. You talk about 72%. That's pretty much guaranteed when he catches it that close.
Flan hit the deck. No contact there. Davis again. Back to the point guard. The kick out. Davis again. Short this time. Blackman pulls up. Rebound, he'll get a second chance at it. Another jumper on the way, and that won't drop for State McRae. And Arkansas will take over with about 7 to go as they continue to scrap. 66-59. Miami with the lead here at home tonight.
OB, we signed up for the SEC ACC Challenge, and a dunk contest broke out. Matthew Cleveland with the first offering to be only outdone by a Duke Arrow who goes baseline, jumps off the wrong foot and dunks it backwards. But however, as the great Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. Matthew Cleveland with the dunk of the night thus far. However, 7:06 remaining. The way that these guys have gone at it, we may have more to come.
Arkansas got the lead down to 55-54 at about 10:50 to go in the game. But Pack and Cleveland have been the story for Miami. Both of them lighting it up tonight. It's a 15-point-a-game average for Pack, but a different story for Cleveland. Only 9 points a game coming in. He has really lifted his game in more ways than one.
He really has, and the energy that he's played with coming off the bench has been contagious throughout his team. His teammates have recognized that, and they have done the job defensively more so than they have all season long. Although Arkansas is shooting 45.3% from the field, they have turned it over 10 times. That's one of the areas of concern for Jim Larrañaga. He knows they're not a great defensive rebounding team, so they're going to have to turn their opponents over to be successful.
And Jalen Blackman, another problem for Arkansas. He has 12 points. He's 4 out of 6 from 3. So he's hurt them. Flan way downtown, no. And a rebound tipped. It'll be Miami ball. 6:48 to go. And let's see if Cleveland gets another opportunity to elevate here in these last 7 minutes. He has the ball. Lynn Kidd. He spins, gets in close, went for the pass, and out of play off Miami.
But when you're that close, Lynn Kidd did everything right. The footwork perfect. Go ahead and shoot the basketball, because even if he puts that on the glass and misses it, Matthew Cleveland maybe has another putback dunk. Or Joe Bay's right there in the mix also to be able to clean it up. But Lynn Kidd doesn't miss often when he's that close to the rim.
10 turnovers from Miami. They had only 4 in the first half. Thiero with a pull-up pop. Knocks it down.
And smart play. Wanted to actually drive that and kick it to the corner, but found himself in his sweet spot in the position to be able to get a bucket. Raises up over the top of the defender.
Pack nearly lost it. Thiero almost got a hand on it. Underneath. That won't drop for Kidd. He doesn't miss many that close. Wagner on the drive, scoops it up. A very acrobatic shot for 2.
He's been doing that since he was a freshman in high school, attacking the rim, going up against much bigger defenders, but the strength and the ability to score over the top, never fearful of getting into the paint.
Well, to this point, every time that Arkansas has made a run, Miami's had an answer. A little floater here, that'll fall in. Pack with a nifty touch.
Nice soft touch by Pack there, but more importantly, the back door, the recognition, as the defender tries to deny him.
Thiero very determined there, and contact. And a whistle with 5:21 to go.
Obi spent some time with the Duke Thiero this summer at the Jason Tatum Elite Camp. And he talked about coming to Arkansas and having a different mindset this year. He wanted to do everything right for the team a year ago. He got off to a great start at Kentucky, had a big game against Duke in the Champions Classic, and then tailed off a little bit, deferred to others, allowed them to be the stars. He understands this year he has to be the star for this Arkansas team to be successful.
He's been that, 19 points a game, 6 rebounds. Straight on Davis. Yeah, that'll rattle in.
And we've seen him step up in the second half as well. Nelly Davis knocking down the 3 ball. His second 3 of the second half.
2-point game. Cleveland again with a touch. Going on the drive, jumping inside. Now he needs help. And that's going to be a turnover on the double dribble.
Matthew Cleveland had a good run to the rim, unable to get it on the glass, and then give Arkansas's defense a lot of credit for swarming under the basket, forcing the turnover. And now an opportunity for the Razorbacks to tie or even take a lead with the 3.
Wagner trying to get free. Instead of Splan up high. And that's going to go the other way.
Another turnover and an inopportune time for Arkansas as Big Z gets the offensive foul. Have to give the defender an opportunity to get around the screen. No longer can you go up and put a body on a defender to try to free up your teammate.
4.5 to go. And Arkansas again knocking on the door. Lynn Kidd making his way toward the paint. Yeah, the double comes. Almost gave it up. Pack from the corner. Yes!
That's the fear of double teaming. That's why John Calipari has been hesitant and gone back and forth whether or not to double team. Jim Larinaga told us Lynn Kidd had 3 assists last time out off of double teams alone. Does a great job of spraying it out.
Big Z got it! Big time answer. 2-point game again.
Once again, if I shot the 3 as well as that, I would shoot it every time.
Keep
just like
on
Big Z.
shooting it. Everybody in America is with you on that one. Nigel Pack pulls up. Not there for him. And again, Arkansas with a chance to tie or take the lead in Miami. Wagner on the drive. Good swing, Flan from the corner.
And Matthew Cleveland hesitant right now. In the first half, he would have taken that one all the way to the rim. Slows it down on that possession. Not sure that was the best thing for his team on that possession.
Going to be a block shot there by the big fella, but out of play it goes. It'll go the other way. Miami with the last touch. 3:09 to go, and he's hobbled. Big Z with that bad ankle. 71-69. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. Corey, both teams having key guys who are suffering injuries right now. In this case, the big fellow, the 7'2" Big Z, with a bad ankle.
Yeah, you see Z as he steps back, roll that right ankle, which has been bothering him already, then lifts the foot up to make sure the basketball does not go off of him out of bounds. But walking back to the bench, started to feel the repercussions of rolling it a few seconds prior. But he's going to stay on the floor. He's absolutely been the most productive of the bigs throughout this night for John Calipari.
Ivicic had started 6 out of 7, did not start tonight. Nigel Pack has been playing with a bad foot. That's caused him to miss time this season. So a couple of stars not at 100%, not close. Theo to make a move. Fland outside. Under 3 minutes to go. Wagner on the attack. Airborne. No. Rebound tipped. They'll get a second effort at it. Davis up high for Fland. Shot clock at 7. Shot clock down to 1. And a whistle with 1 on the shot clock. And a big-time bailout.
Yeah, bailed out. As you see, Boogie Fland going to the rim. Gets downhill, and Blackman, knowing that he's beat, reaches in, grabs that left arm of Fland, sending him to the free throw line. Didn't recognize he had Matthew Cleveland coming over to help out with only 1.3 remaining on the shot clock.
So 2 here with 2:25 to go. Arkansas on the verge of catching Miami here at last. Miami has not trailed in the game. Fland makes 83% at the line. The McDonald's All-American. And he has tied it up. 71-71.
Tell you what, we've been treated to a ball game. Both these teams have played extremely hard, recognizing that it's the SEC ACC challenge, and each one of these games is going to matter when we tally it up at the end of tomorrow night.
Cleveland, who has been a dunk show tonight. He's trying to go up high, and it rolls off the iron on the alley-oop.
Great job by Brazil getting back defensively, disrupting that. Would have been another highlight for Matthew Cleveland.
Fland gave off the pass, loose on the deck. Theo scoops it up. 1:48 to go. Here's the jumper. Got it! The youngster from the corner knocks it down.
Guys getting on the floor after the loose basketball. But Arkansas starting now to make the 50-50 plays that they weren't making before, as Jonwell Fland Sr., a.k.a. Boogie's dad, is checking out the action. Happy to see his son performing here on the big stage.
Kevin Connors, that is an 8-0 run for Arkansas. They surge in front.
OB, it's been impressive to watch, and we're headed to College Station next. Coach, what are the Aggies going to see from Hunter Sallis?
Hunter Sallis is a 3-level scorer, but having to play the point, it's a lot on his plate.
Yeah, 4 points a game at Gonzaga, but look at him now. Testament to Steve Forbes' development as a head coach.
We've got Wake and A&M coming up after we go final in Miami in a good one, OB.
Boogie Fland, a young star, 16 points a game, playing like one.
He absolutely is, attacking the basket, unable to be able to make the play. But how about Aduthiero with the dime to the corner, right into the shooting pocket of Boogie Fland, who makes sure that the 3 ball out of the corner pocket is good. And now Arkansas holding a 3-point lead after Miami has pretty much dominated this game throughout, held on to a lead the entire time. Now Arkansas takes its first lead, 1:42 remaining.
74-71. Every time Miami looked like Arkansas was going to run past them, they made a big play, a dunk or a 3-pointer. Here's Pack to launch. Rebound comes out high. Blackman with another one. Nigel Pack to drive it. The scoop, yes.
Great job by Nigel Pack, recognizing everyone from Arkansas knows he wants to get to the three. Uses his ability to play off the bounce, gets the layup, 1-point game.
It has turned into a heck of a game here in Miami tonight. In the challenge, just about a minute to go. Davis for Flan at the logo. Under a minute. Flan again pulls up. He sticks it. Boy, big time shots by the youngster.
A star and making his presence felt. Had his first freshman game against Illinois. Didn't play well, only 2 for 12 from the field, but he has responded here tonight.
Johnson can't find the range, and it's Boogie Flan with the rebound. He's doing it on both ends.
And now he's communicating with John Calipari what he wants to run here on what could be the final offensive possession for the Razorbacks.
Flan again. Over the top. Oh, went for it, and Thiero draws the foul.
We watched Arkansas run that play time and time again and shoot around today. Boogie Flan called this off of his rebound. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. It was not an opportunity for him, even though he's got a couple buckets on the last 2 possessions. It was an opportunity for him to score. It was to make a play for his teammate. Goes up top to Thiero, who is unable to get the finish, but does get fouled, and now a chance of making a 2-possession game at the line.
11.2. And misfires on the first one. You talked about the issues he had against Illinois at the line. 12 of 21. He really scuffled. But Arkansas by 3.
Mom looking because she can't even look.
And missed the pair. 3-point game. Here comes Cleveland, and a reach, and Flan will foul him from behind with 7.4 on the clock.
And I like that foul by John Calipari because, of course, you have fouls to give in that scenario. So now, with 2 timeouts, John Calipari is going to take one and discuss with his team what he wants to do here, whether they're going to foul up 3 and how you have to do it.
So 7.4. Boogie Flan, the freshman from the Bronx, with a big-time star turn in Miami, Florida here tonight.
Obi, you know very well that the Bronx is called the Boogie Down. So therefore, this young man performing from the box, Boogie Flan, the 3 in the corner, and then taking it upon himself to go off the bounce, get to the mid-range. We got to start calling him Boogie Down Flan.
Well, tonight certainly living up to all the hype, being a McDonald's All-American out of New York City, #1 point guard in the country out of high school. He originally committed to Calipari at Kentucky, but he said, I always knew I wanted to play for Coach Cal. Wherever he went, that's where I was going.
And Boogie just turned 18 years old. I'm not sure people realize he's a young freshman right now, so could be a high school senior. Just turning 18, but has the ability to make plays well beyond his years.
Now, Miami without a timeout, Arkansas with 2 remaining. And fouls to give Arkansas and Miami. The possession arrow, Miami has that. And here down the stretch, a youngster is certainly leading Arkansas maybe to a big win here tonight. They trailed all night long until these last few minutes here against the Canes. Flan with 18 points to lead the Razorbacks. And so a heck of a way to begin the SEC ACC Challenge tonight in the very first night of the event. And
now,
more to come tonight.
But taking that time out, I would expect to see John Calipari foul, but you want to do it if guys are running away from the basket to make sure they're not fouling in a 3-point shooting scenario. But I would expect to see Coach Cal foul here and not allow Miami to be able to execute and find a way to get a 3 to tie this.
Freshman Swartz will put it in. Now let's see how the Razorbacks play this. Pack trying to get through. And a bounce feed almost stolen away. It'll stay on this end. 5.5 seconds remaining.
And it's called Miami's basketball, but the officials will go over. Under 2 minutes, you're allowed to be able to go to the monitor and review to make sure you got this correct. We see, I believe that will stay with Miami. It looks as though Brazile was the last to touch it from that angle. Great angle here to our crew. Looks like the left hand of Brazile
Last
was
play
the
is
last
under
one.
review for out of bounds.
Looks like the left hand of Brazile was the last to touch it. This angle shows it well, as does the other angle where you see here. Look at the left hand of Trevon Brazile, the last one on the basketball. That will stay with Miami. And now they'll check the time to make sure they've got the proper time on the clock.
Yeah, right now showing 5.5 after the deflection. Arkansas with quite a comeback here on an enemy floor tonight. Every time they made an effort, they got an answer from Miami until Boogie Fland kind of took over the game and made huge shots here in the last few minutes.
He absolutely did that, and that's been his calling card. Watching him growing up, he's been a special offensive player, but seeing him mature into the point guard that he's become in just his 8th game in college is really special to see.
So the officials still at the monitor to review, as you can do under 2 minutes.
And John Calipari already expecting the basketball to go to Miami.
And it's going to be ruled Miami ball.
He has his team already on the floor set to defend.
And it reset.
Call on the floor stands, white ball.
Reset the clock to 6 seconds. So another half second added.
Miami tried to run an elevator screen on the last possession to get Blackman at the top of the key. Now they changed the inbounder to Nigel Pack, who, of course, the inbounder is always the most dangerous guy getting it back.
Got it in for Blackman. Pack on the drive, and he is fouled. He's going to be fouled by Davis.
Great job defensively by Davis, fouling before Pack is able to get into a shooting motion.
That'll be his 4th.
But still had a foul to give, and now at this point, John Calipari telling his team not to foul.
Blackman off the inbounds. Can't hit it. And that's going to go out at the buzzer. That is the ball game.
Miami got a great look at the end of the game, just unable to get it to go. Arkansas survives and wins their first road game of the season. As you see Blackman get a good look, a knockdown shooter, just unable to get it to go on the last possession of the game, which would have tied it for the Hurricanes on their home floor.
Arkansas trailing virtually all night, did not take the lead until 1:47 to go. And Boogie Fland leading them down the stretch. Our Continental Tire player of the game.
Boogie Fland showed up big time in the second half, battled through foul trouble to be there for his team at the end when they needed him most. The last 5-point score by Boogie Fland to give Arkansas a win in the SEC ACC Challenge.
Well, it's been written a child will lead them, and that was certainly the case. As you look at the SEC ACC Men's Challenge right now, 9 wins necessary to clinch. Final tonight, Arkansas 76, Miami 73. The challenge continues with Wake and Texas A&M. Right now, we toss it to Brian Custer and John.